Recently, I finished an intense period of learning English, and honestly, it gave me a lot of realizations. June was probably the most intense month of language learning in my life. I felt really fulfilled because I was taking action almost every single day and testing what actually works the best for me. But now I'm starting a new chapter. In today's video, I wanna share which language I'm gonna study next, why I chose it, what I've changed compared to my English learning, which methods I'm gonna use, and what is my plan for this language. So the question is, why have I chosen Russian? The first reason behind is that I genuinely enjoy that language. I like how Russian sounds. I really enjoy learning it. I am naturally interested in the culture, the people that live in Russia. So it was the motivation. Moreover, I wanted a real challenge because I didn't wanna stay only with English. I wanted to have another motivation, another foreign language can push my limits. I can develop and grow as a person. And let's be honest, Russian is much more difficult than English. It has grammar cases. There are many verbs that can be different than usually. Suffix, prefix can change its meaning. So whether it was done or not, it matters in this language. Another motivation behind it is that I wanna communicate with more people. I wanna understand and speak with Russian speakers. I am willing to use this language in real situation. It can be useful because I live in Poland. I can meet from time to time some Ukrainians or even Russian people. Moreover, a new language is a good opportunity to see another outlook on life, because when something is written by Cyrillic, it is a completely new perspective, how you can read it and how you can see and view it. Definitely, some words can mean completely a different thing when they are conveyed in a different language. The language allows you to understand Russian culture, history, and the way people think in this language. My fifth motivation is that I enjoy improving. I wanna learn a difficult language. That's it. I'm glad when I can see a progress, and this language is able to give me a meaningful goal that I can work toward. The most important point is that I wanted to come back to Russian because I started learning it in November 2025 and I learned it for 3 months. Then I stopped learning for 4 months probably. I finished learning at the end of February 2026, but now it's July 2026. It is the best moment to come back. When I prepared my materials for my Russian, I decided to change entirely my approach because I realized that my previous approach could work, but I felt I could improve my methods. My intuition has told me there were methods that I could test. I felt like I wanted to experiment with some methods. I realized that people would like to see different methods that can help. I am curious about this because I am not glad about what methods I can use, because I can realize that there can be better, but it doesn't mean that it should be the most effective. In this process, I wanna show you, in my opinion, better solutions that you can implement to your language learning journey. I'm gonna keep what worked in the past. If a method was helpful, I kept it. But if it didn't work, I replaced it with something better, what I acknowledge it as something different. I'm gonna share with you all methods that I removed, I add, and all methods that I'm gonna use at first, because there are many things that I gonna learn first time. I'm so excited to sell because it's all about experimentations, but definitely my final goal is to allow myself to find my systems that can be the most effective. But I'm aware of this, that during this process there can be many adjustments, but I'm gonna give you information what is gonna change. There are three things that I removed. First, I don't create sentences with flashcards. Instead, I've decided to use the method that it's called sentence mining. I can explain you in future videos what it's gonna look like. The second thing that I removed, separate grammar study. I'm gonna study grammar when it's gonna be needed. And okay, I have doubts, so okay, tomorrow we are gonna study grammar. And that's it. I'm curious how it's gonna work, but I noticed that many people don't like study grammar. I have noticed that I like studying grammar because I do really enjoy it. And I'm curious to see how well this works. And the third thing, unstructured speaking. Then it would be useful that during my English journey, my speaking practice wasn't always organized. This time I wanted to have every speaking session to define a clear purpose. I wanna know exactly what I am practicing and how I will improve afterward. So what I added actually, first, as I said, sentence mining. I'm gonna use it so naturally because I'm gonna benefit from input, my speaking exercises, my writing exercises, my Excel exercises. These are gonna be the systems that I'm gonna benefit, and I'm gonna do it every single day that I study learning, at the beginning and the end. Another method is a speaking system with notes. I have a long list of conversational questions. When I'm answering this question, I write down this thought in my native language and I translate in my target language. After 30 and 45 minutes of answering questions, I decide to review all of my these notes. If I review them, I move on to the same thing, and definitely it's gonna be like this over and over. And from time to time, I'm gonna review all of these notes that I wrote down. The valuable practice that I've decided to add is speaking with a feedback, whether it's gonna be during self-talk or even something different, but mainly it's gonna be with self-talk, that I've decided to record myself during the speech and I'm gonna ask AI for feedback. That's it. And maybe I can answer 10 questions and I wanna get feedback. Moreover, I added some additional features to my input because I've decided to benefit from more inputs, and I'm gonna use now AI generated Russian text, Russian songs, Wikipedia for kids, simple news with different pages, and a bit adopted approach to content that I'm gonna explain you in future videos. Let's move on to a list of methods that I'm gonna use overall. And first method is speaking with notes. I've explained you before. Conversation questions with feedback. I used this in my English. Self-talk with transcription. When it is all about this, I can talk to myself and I get feedback from AI about every statement, everything what I speak actually. Another method is writing practice. I'm gonna write for 50 minutes about the topic that I'm interested in. I am focused on 10 topics that I'm gonna speak out and I'm gonna do everything in Russian. If I have no idea about the word that I'm gonna convey, I translate this into my target language. That's it. Another method is sentence mining. Review systems. There are many more reviews because it's gonna concern sentence mining, Excel exercises, watching YouTube videos. I've adjusted many changes that I'm gonna share in future videos. Different input sources, what I shared with you before. Repeated listening. It is the method that I'm gonna reveal details in incoming videos, probably. Repeated translated personal text. It is all about many repetitions, basically, this method, and I'm gonna repeat all the time. It is useful to say that there is another method than AI sentence reading, when I read sentences generated by the AI. This method is gonna help me to make my language more functional because after 4 months of break, my language is gonna be rusty. So I decided to do this specific thing to allow me to go back to Russian. The last method is an Excel exercise. So let's move on to my study plan for this journey. So at the beginning, my goal is to study around 2 hours, and then I will study more probably. I'm curious because I will have to divide this time for 2, even 3 projects, because I need to end my English project, so that's gonna be important. On the other hand, I don't wanna create unrealistic expectations from day one. I'm gonna go back. I have no idea what's gonna happen. I'm gonna start it for 2-3 days probably, when it is Thursday or Friday, when it is 9th or 10th July, when I'm gonna start. What is crucial to get the point is the fact that the first week is gonna be experimental. I have no idea how much time is gonna take to do certain activities. I assumed some things, but I wasn't 100% certain. According to my estimates, it was about 170 hours. So it's a lot for my Russian, but it doesn't matter that it's not gonna be useful. Another point is that sentence mining is gonna be one of the most important activities during this process, because I'm gonna do it every single day when I study. Another feature is that reviews will be part of the system. I'm so focused on reviews. So how I'm gonna measure my progress? So it is crucial because it is not about hours, but it is about real skills that I'm gonna learn. It is about the topics that I can communicate with people, whether I can use these real sentences that I learned, whether I can understand videos in English or not. And another metric is that can I have a conversation with native speakers? These are indicators that can allow me to measure my progress, but definitely it's not about measuring every single factor. But I feel like what keeps me motivated is that I can measure every single hour that I've dedicated. I like data, but I don't like measure everything, but I wanna have something so simple to measure it. So let's discuss the scale of this project. It's gonna take at least a few months. I cannot believe that it's gonna end within 1 month or 2 even, because it's gonna even take 200 hours. But even if I learn every single day for even 4 hours, then in my case it could be about 100 hours in month. Probably I could do it or not. So it's challenging, but I guess it's gonna take 3-4 months probably, because there could be many side projects. What you can expect is that I'm gonna give you uploads every single 2 weeks, probably, whether it's gonna be about what I'm gonna do or about what are my conclusions, how it's gonna be, my progress, my learning. Definitely what is gonna show up on this channel is this fact that I would like to create a lot of videos with my Russian. Maybe sometimes I can show you my speech. I would like to create even videos in Russian that I can speak about something in Russian. I can show you my results in Russian. It would be the best amazing part of this. I would like to create a bit deeper, so I can promise you that the main part is gonna be about reflections, conclusions, and experimentation with this language, because it is the good field to experiment and learn new stuff. So it is all about this video. I feel like you've enjoyed this, and see you to the next video, because I'm so excited to say that I'm gonna learn Russian. Мне нравится, что я сказал. Я надеюсь, я буду говорить по-русски лучше. Я хочу сказать лучше вещей. Однажды это будет очень-очень трудно.